Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Sportscaster Dan podcast. And here we go. Who is going to be the next manager of the New York Mets? I'm going to get right to it. What if I just took a wild guess and predicted the next manager of the New York Mets would be Alex Cora? You'd say, wait a minute, Dan. Alex Cora? He's the manager of the Boston Red Sox. Hear me out on this. I don't have any inside information. I don't have any source or sources, but I did hear something on the Mike Francesa podcast that got me interested, because Francesa was talking about the next manager of the New York Mets, how several names are being floated. Joe Maddon, the ex-manager of Tampa Bay, the former manager of the Chicago Cubs, former manager of the Los Angeles Angels, his name is being floated, and apparently he has indicated to some that he would be interested in becoming the next manager of the New York Mets. But hear me out on this for just a moment. Alex Cora is in the final year of his contract with the Boston Red Sox. He'll be entering his final year. The Red Sox are out to get a new head of baseball ops. And what we normally see is that somebody who's in charge of the entire operation loves to bring in his own manager. So I would think that whoever takes that job with the Red Sox would want to bring in his own manager, that is a requisite. Now, from what I have been reading, Cora is actually going to have a say on the person who comes in to head the Red Sox baseball operations. He's going to have an input as to who he wants to become his next boss, essentially. So that's one thing that could put off someone who's interested in wanting to run the Red Sox, who's going to have to take the heat for what the ball club does. That might prohibit someone who is talented but is not interested in taking the Red Sox job because he can't pick his own manager. You've got Cora, who has floated the idea that someday he would like to be the head of baseball ops, whether it's the Red Sox or somebody else. So maybe there's some kind of an accommodation. If, for example, David Stearns, the head of the Mets, wants Alex Cora badly, maybe he goes to the Red Sox and he says that, hey, can we work out some kind of a deal where Alex will be released from the final year of his contract, provided Cora is interested and want to become the next manager of the Mets. Now, hear me out, because Francesa said he heard some other names being floated, including a name from a team up north from here. That's all he said. Including a name from a team north of here, meaning north of New York. Well, unless Bill Belichick wants to become the next manager of the New York Mets. Come to think of it, that wouldn't be a bad idea. But who's north of New York? Boston. The Red Sox. Alex Cora entering the final year of his contract. All I'm saying is it would not surprise me if it happened. I'm not saying Alex Cora is going to become the next manager of the New York Mets. All I am saying is you've got a situation in Boston where the Red Sox still have not named a new head of baseball ops. It's been a month now. They're supposedly interviewing these candidates. That Cora is going to have a say as to the next person who runs the Red Sox is going to be. That Cora has floated the idea, not now, but someday, wanting to be a person who heads the operation of a ball club. All I am saying is that could be a put-off to some potential candidates who are interested in the Red Sox job but do not want it because as much as they might supposedly have full power, to begin with, they can't name their own manager. And secondly, the manager has expressed an interest in the job that person is going to be occupying. And then you've got the Mets. Maybe they think that Cora is the most qualified, that he can communicate with the players. He's good with a mixture of young players and veterans, and he's great with the media. And don't discount that. Cora is tremendous with the media. And, hey, if you can manage in Boston and deal with the media, you can manage anywhere. I know it's like New York. If you can play in New York, you can play anywhere. Well, guess what? If you can manage in Boston and deal with the media, then you can manage in New York. Point is, Cora checks all the boxes. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I have no inside information. All I am saying is when I heard Francesa said, I've heard some names bandied about, including a certain team up north. Well, the only team north of New York is the Boston Red Sox, and the manager of the Boston Red Sox is Alex Cora, entering the final year of his contract in an organization that's looking for someone to run the entire baseball operation. And that someone currently would have to deal with Cora because Cora is going to have a say, and Cora has expressed an interest in being the head of ball club, baseball ops someplace, whether it's the Red Sox or someplace else. And that might be a put-off to some potential talented candidates for the Red Sox. That's all I'm saying. In fact, if that holds, if Cora has a say, if Cora has also expressed that interest of moving to the front office someday, it would not surprise me if the next baseball operations head of the Boston Red Sox comes within the organization. That wouldn't surprise me. And to repeat, in wrapping up this podcast, it would not surprise me if we hear more stories or that eventually it happens, Alex Cora becomes the next manager of the New York Mets. Would not surprise me at all. We'll see what unfolds. This offseason is going to be very interesting. There are already managerial vacancies everywhere. I'll throw another one out to you. It would not surprise me if Buck Showalter is the next manager of the Los Angeles Dodgers. That'll be a conversation for another day. All I know is the Dodgers, the best team money can buy, supposedly the model by which all teams copy. Dodgers have a difficult time making it into the next round of the playoffs, don't they? With all that talent, with that payroll, with their resources, they have a difficult time. It wouldn't surprise me if maybe Dave Roberts is shown the door and the next manager of the Dodgers is Buck Showalter. All I know is this. The Dodgers have not won a World Series since 1988. You said, wait a minute, Dan, 2000 or 2020. The Dodgers won it in 2020. Yes, they did. A 60-game season. I'm not going to take that away from the Dodgers. A 60-game season, COVID, playoffs played what, in just 2 venues? All I am saying is watch out for what could happen in L.A. In the meantime, watch out as to the next manager of the New York Mets. It could surprise you. That's going to do it for the Sportscaster Dan podcast. As always, thanks for listening. You can subscribe several ways. We are in all of the major podcast directories, and also go to sportscasterdan.com.